Hi guys, Raindle here. I've been leveling Louelle all the way to 107 for now, and I really wanted to take her into Arena today. Yesterday I took Sylma into Arena and I was very much impressed, and I was wondering how she would do with another mage in the team so we can get their magic attacks even higher. And so for this purpose, we'll take Sylma, Nasha, and Louelle in battle in a very interesting team comp that's hard to take down. All three characters are pretty tanky, and then we'll have insane slash resistance and pretty good resistance to magic as well. So I'll first show you the team comp and then go into combat as usual. This time I want to show you my team before doing the fights, because I feel like it's important that you understand how it's built to properly enjoy the matches. So first of all, we have Sylma. It is the same build as I was running in the previous showcase, which you can see by clicking the link in the description below, but she's there with 1300 magic, a little bit more than last time because we have Ramu and another teammate. Pretty decent spirit, pretty decent HP, and very high agility. All her abilities are on in both subjobs aside from nimble movement. It's the only ability that I have turned off. And then the stats are pretty impressive, as we've seen. She also has 33% slash resistance, which she can increase with her own ability, and 53% magic resist, so she's hard to take down by the two most common damage types in the game, and will be targeting enemies with those damage types, of course. Then Nasha is there to be basically invincible. She has 9000 HP, 60 defense, 20 spirit, only 30 faith though, so magic damage will not do much to her. She is not there for damage, her attack is not that high, and she's pretty slow, as she always is. But she has 40% slash resist before buffs, and she has positive magic resistance as well in this setup, which means she's really hard to kill by just about any attack type. I have, originally when the video begins, you'll see Divine Veil turn on, but I ended up turning it off, which means that her abilities on are only Guardian Wall in her main job, and then if it wants to open, Taunting Blade and Sentinel. These are the only three abilities she has access to, and this is all that counts. She's there to be tanky and generate hate. That's what she'll do. Then finally we have Louelle. She's only 107. I did not have the chance to level her that far yet, but I'll be going a bit further in the future. Still though, 5000 HP, 40 defense, only 970 magic. The proficiency at E with the book definitely doesn't help. I'll have to train that more. She's still pretty fast at 81 agility though. So that's it, and then the main reason she'll survive pretty well is 55% slash resist, and then a little bit of magic resist, but out of our guys, she's the one that's the weakest against magical attacks. The Scholar job, I left everything on. I want to see how she acts with that. And then Rune Knight has the hazard spell off because it takes away some of her HP, and I feel like I would rather have her buff her own tankiness than have her focus on dealing more damage. She'll probably do decent damage either way. So that's the way our team is built, and then we amplificated our slash and magic resistance because that's the focus of the team. Our first enemy has an interesting setup. He's running Tidus, Tidus, and Yuna all maxed out, but they don't have their own specific vision cards. Instead, he has some more hate on Tidus, and then unit resistance on everybody. That's going to make Jamming Thrust hit for less damage. But I'm feeling fairly confident. The main risk, I would think, is for Tidus to kill Louelle very quickly, because they'll be front to front, and Tidus has defense penetration and can use other damage types aside from slashing. So that part might go wrong, and if Louelle dies too early, we won't have enough damage to kill them before Yuna takes everybody back to full health. So it's a test, we'll see how it goes. Again, I need to set that speed to 1.5 by default. So they have the barrier, but the physical barrier on the enemy to be will not help against our magic-based team, so that's a good thing. Re-raise on Yuna, not great. Just like last time, this map provides extra magic resistance, so our team will perform worse than it would on other setups. And then it's interesting because it's the first time I see Nasha actually use this buff. In my experience, she would usually use something else, like Immortal Spirit. I wonder if I have turned off Immortal Spirit. If that's the case, or her own barrier perhaps, I'll have to take a look, but that was a little bit weird. I would have preferred to see her barrier. Still, 800 damage, and then almost no damage on Sylma either. The energy ray should hit a little bit harder, but not that threatened. You've seen our setup. We are pretty bulky against magic as well. There we go. So our characters are not taking much damage. Now this attack might one-shot Louelle though. Element advantage, and she just gains some slash resistance piercing. Okay, so a little bit above half her HP, and we still don't have enough AP to generate hate on Nasha's side, so that's pretty terrible in terms of start. It's not what I would have chosen. Now we hit everybody with that, and we heal back for full life. Wow, definitely good. A reminder that she is only at 107, so that's not her max potential. Then, as I expected, as soon as to be used something other than a slash attack, she managed to take us out. But Sylma takes to be out in vengeance, and then we should have more than enough power to take out Yuna once or twice before... yeah, she should not be able to kill us. Full life, not a big fan of that though. It could have went better. So we proc the re-raise on Yuna, but Tidus is back with no AP. So can they heal? Yes, it seems like Yuna's ability procs before we get another turn. Otherwise, Jamming Thrust might have been able to cancel her turn, and that would have been very useful. So Tidus is back with low HP, hits us again, Yuna casts another heal. This is what I meant earlier when I said that if we lost Louelle too early, we would not have enough damage to kill their characters. So that's exactly the situation we're in. We do decent damage, but she can heal more than what we can do. So Thundera finally takes Tidus out, Nasha is still out there tanking. Yeah, she can do that for a very long while. But Louelle does not have the damage to one-shot Yuna, so Prey comes in, and I think this fight will end up with us winning from the timer at the end, but perhaps Golem followed by Jamming Thrust will be enough. Something I like is Sylma, since she has buffs that cost that much TP, she doesn't run out of AP too early. Like, this was a very long fight for her. Oh, if this kills Nasha, they will actually win because Aeon Bond just procced, and so Yuna's full HP, while Sylma has taken some damage. Yep, so very unfortunate bad luck end in terms of the timer, but I would say our team performed pretty well overall. Alright, second match, they have King Mont at 99, but he should still do a decent job as a tank. And then Tidus and Winter... Viktora. So that should be interesting. We have Sylma, but she's on the other side. It would probably be wiser to switch their positions, so I will do just that before we go in. And then since I'm thinking about it, let's increase the speed by default. There we go, 1.5 should be perfect. So let's fight them. My expectation is that King Mont, if he was in front of Sylma, would probably land a disable on her. So it's really good to take her away, while Louelle is actually immune to disable, or at least 50% resistance, so she's immune to the disable coming from King Mont. So as long as the king does not berserk our units, we are in a pretty good position. So let's see, first of all, more defense on Nasha, that's perfect. Then she uses Divine Veil, which is apparently now prioritized over Guardian Shield, but I don't want to turn off Divine Veil because it's a cool new ability. So we'll have to live with it for a couple fights. Then Breath of Serenity, so apparently regen on Tidus. I don't feel like that's going to be a very impactful move. Let's see. Okay, less slash resistance on everybody. Not a big fan of that. Slash resistance is kind of our way of staying alive, but let's see. Spear shot, so Nasha's getting pretty low because of all these chains. And then Dispel Spread finishes her off. I think that's the fastest I've seen Nasha die in any of the fights I've used her since leveling her to 120. And then it would seem like Stonega Blade was actually the highest damage ability for Louelle. That's very interesting. It's not something that I thought would come out. Taunting Blade deals some pretty decent damage, but Sylma also deals pretty decent damage. And then Magic Orb finishes her off. Pretty sure we're gonna win that fight. Yup. So, Nasha died pretty quick, but we still got a good win here. Alright, so 117 King Mont, 120 Yuna, 120 Tidus. They have a very good setup. but their extra slash resist will not be that useful against us. So let's see how our team fares. And again, I'm matching Sylma with Tidus and Louelle with King Mont because Louelle can't be disabled and Sylma wins duels against Tidus. So I'm really hoping that both our damage dealers will survive until the very end, because if Yuna lives long enough, I've seen that she can out-heal the damage our team does. So I'm really hoping that this doesn't happen, but we'll have to see. Now, some extra defense will probably come in handy, and I did end up turning off Divine Veil from Nasha because I need her to use Guardian Wall. It generates enough AP for her to use Taunting Blade one turn earlier, and so it's the highest value ability to use on turn 1, no matter the setup. So now that Tidus has all his buffs up, he's ready to fight us, and we have slash resist down on Louelle. But this attack did not do that much damage, so she'll be able to heal back to full life, probably. Yup, so almost full life. And then Tidus can hit us, but we have the slash resistance up, so it's not even a quarter of Louelle's HP. 700, that will probably be enough for her to finish off Tidus. Yep, so without that attack from Nasha, Tidus might have survived, but at that point we're in pretty good shape. The full life comes in, so yeah, we're fighting Yuna. But it fails! We're pretty lucky at that point. That will probably play a pretty huge role in our fight, but then again, Tidus would have a hard time killing Nasha, and she has hate, so maybe it won't be that important. Gift of Knowledge comes in again, and I'm expecting this to take out the King Mont before he can get healed. If it happens, I'll be pretty happy. Nope, I should level it above level 10. One more level there would have been the difference between the death and the life of King Mont. Jamming Thrust deals okay damage, not enough to kill him. But their King Mont keeps using Shuriken, which I feel is a pretty low impact move in these fights. So we end up taking King Mont out, and now with 3 people hitting Yuna, she needs to proc Aeon Bond every time, I think, if she wants to live. Let's see, she's at halfway there, and Golem should finish her up. I wish magic attacks could chain, because then you could chain Jamming Thrust into the Esper Invocation, even if you're not using a mage like Nasha, but it doesn't, so there we go. Normal attack, no Aeon Bond, but she can heal herself back with Kiraga. Yeah, we'll need some way of taking her out one day. If they did not have the extra magic resistance from the map, it would be way easier. But wow, you can tell the strike attack from Louelle is coming in pretty handy. It does a lot more damage than a magic attack. And since it's a magical scaling ability, it does a it benefits from the high faith from the enemy Yuna as well. So she finally goes down and we win the fight. Okay, let's fight the King, Tidus, and 9S. Their team has some extra magic resistance, so I'm not a big fan of it, but we'll see how it goes. It will take us 2 hits to kill Tidus, God knows how many hits to kill King Mont, but their team will also struggle with killing ours, so hopefully Nasha can tank out for long enough. The matchup is very unfavorable for us when we fight tanky enemies and they have a healer like Yuna, because we end up running out of AP before the enemy team, just because we are using a lot of MR units. But in this fight, we still have a pretty good shot because they don't have a healer, so any damage we do is gonna stick outside of the regen from King Mont, but hey, regen is not as much healing as what Yuna gives him, so let's see how it goes. We do have Crimson Resist, which is great in this team. And then, wow, he uses neural hacking, so that's going to reduce our damage capabilities against him, and I hope it won't be enough to kill her. Nope, only 1600. She has so much defense, and then the type advantage, that we're pretty good. And also, since we have the Ramu card equipped on her, she has a, wow, 7000 damage, okay. But she has a, an extra lightning resist all the way up to 30%, so that also counts. Slash resistance down, but we just buffed it up, so pretty good. Tidus is almost dead, and even though he has regen, I don't think it can save him from this attack by Louelle. There we go. Okay, he survived, but very barely. And then another slash resist down in an AoE. Tidus gets one more turn, but he really can't do much at that point. He's going down. Nasha deals basically nothing, but we'll probably see Okay, I was expecting the strike attack from Louelle there, but for some reason she preferred the other one, so that's fine. We'll still eventually get this guy out. Stone Blade comes in again. It is one of her highest damage ability, if she can come in. I could also use her as a Black Mage and have the Flare, but it just feels less interesting than the Rune Knight. I like giving my characters as many different damage types as possible so they can play with the enemy resistances, and so that's the reason why she's a Rune Knight on my team. So we end up taking out this team. Pretty good performance. So that went pretty well. Honestly, these teams are very dominant, and I'm very happy to see a bunch of MRs and then characters that are not considered to be OP on their release perform so well. Obviously, they're not the best in every scenario, and you have to use them wisely. We are picking enemies that are weaker against our team willingly, and when we don't see as much success. Yuna is definitely a weakness. We cannot fight her well, so we'll just avoid her if we had this team and it wasn't made for a video. But there we go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe. It will make it more likely that you see my content in the future. And then as always, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.